Well, so I just brought this over here, started it up, got it running for this winter. And unfortunately, it's seemed to have developed a problem. Can't remember if this thing's got a fill port on it. Chances are it is just a little low on fluid. If it's got a fill port, that's the easiest way to go. But if it does not, unfortunately, I've got to pull this entire thing off. Now, one of these wheels was seized solid on the transmission drive shaft. I can't remember which one it was. So I've taken this thing off before and serviced the transmission, because it started kind of doing similar stuff like this. It seemed to have cleared it up for a bit, but I think I'm gonna have to do it again, either because some of the fluid leaked out. You can see some right there, so I have no idea how much leaked out in the dirt where I normally keep it sitting. So either it's low on fluid or the transmission is pretty much on its way out. So what I'm doing right now is just taking these bolts out. There are going to be a couple linkages that are inside that I'm going to have to move around a little bit. All right, so as I mentioned, I'm just going to go ahead and remove both of these bolts here. Leave that one in loose. Right behind here, camera can't see it, of course. It's right there. Now you'll notice that fan bracket needs to come out. So that's just a 10mm bolt right there. And I believe that can just kind of flop about loosely and be fine. So we'll remove that. And then you'll also see down here this washer type deal that's on the end of this rod. We'll have to remove that as well. It's been a little bit since I last got into this thing, but I might as well do it. So we've also got an electrical connector that's got to come off. Just like that. Set that aside. And then we got this deal. So these nylon pry tools come in handy for this kind of stuff. But we're just gonna try and wedge that in there. So I just accidentally flicked it off with my little tool here, but it is off. I believe it's on top of the transmission somewhere. But now we can just remove, just like that. So I think we should be, oh yeah, we still have to remove this neutral safety lever. Yep, sure enough, it's got one of them funky washers on it. That was easy enough. Comes off like that. I'll just let it hang out back here. I'm not really worried about that going nowhere. So I'll just break the torque on these last two. There we go. Well, so after spending way too much time on that, I found out that this tire came off very easily. So I just went ahead and pulled that off. And then of course, was able to have easy access to this. I'm gonna have to redo that, but there's all the hardware for the wheel. So now we should be able to come out with this thing. I want to check and see how much oil is actually in this thing. Got a magnet here. So basically it's supposed to be right where that little cup is, about an inch below the bottom lip of the cap. But the issue here, and I really do need to get a new cap for this, is this one has this crack in it. So I did just fill it up to the proper level. You guys can see now. So it was actually like down to here, maybe a little bit lower, so it shouldn't be that low. But I'm gonna need to get a new one of these. I'm just gonna put this back on just so, you know, nothing else gets in there. But I'm gonna have to order a new one. A new plug is only like $7 from Amazon, so I'll just do that. So straight from Amazon, just picked up the new caps. To me, like they updated a bit because now the magnet is a part of the cap. Let's see. If we can't change this out. Looks a little different. Same part though. So tap that back in. Of course, in order to get it in, I had to pull out this piece. So it's no big deal. That's just a magnet. I'll hold on to it though, just in case. Just fine now. So let's get it stabbed back in. Hopefully we can get this done pretty quick. All right, so now's the fun part. Right. I'm gonna put that 10 mil one through the bracket just to kind of stab it in place. Put these two in as well. Not tightening down anything. Before I tighten down all this stuff, I'm gonna get all the linkages back on where they should be, and then get that little electrical connector hooked back up. Linkage back on. I got that connector hooked up. I also got the linkage for the neutral switch put back on. Might have to adjust that little washer some more though. Kind of don't really trust it. Now I just have to put that linkage back on, throw that cotter pin through it, and then I believe I can cinch everything down here. So of course this one's the easier one to do. You just stick it back in like that. Then I've got to fix this pin. Be right back. So I just bent that back into something halfway functional. That ain't perfect, but it'll do. Now just to finish up the install and bolt everything back on. All right, so about to put the wheel and tire back on. I did lube the shaft up. There's the hardware and the shaft key. That's easy enough. I'm gonna have to secure this somehow, but for now I'm not gonna worry about it. Let's get this wheel back on. There we go. Perfect. There we go. So now just to resituate the deck, put those 2 bolts and the springs back in, then we'll give it a start and see if that made anything any better. All right. So we'll know really quickly if this thing is good or not. So I just bled it. Well, at least tried to do a bleed. Wasn't really much to bleed because the fluid level looked to be at the correct place, almost exactly where I left it. I did top it off a little bit, and I think this transmission might be on its way out, but I don't know that what I did just did anything. I'm gonna throw the wheel back on, turn it on and run it, see if that made any difference with all that noise it was making. Oh wow. No noise yet. A little bit of noise there, but it's way more responsive. Nothing like it was. Well, she's not dead yet. As long as I can get a couple more years out of this transaxle, I'll be fine with that. The next thing I'm gonna do though is replace the steering gears, because those I know for a fact are worn out. They were on borrowed time when I serviced that whole thing last time. So that'll be the next video at some point. But as soon as it starts raining some more. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and stay tuned for more.